Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good Christmas and I hope you're going to have a very good New Year. I had a bit of a good time up at the family's and now I'm back and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for New Year. What about you, Mark?
Hello. I had a wonderful time with the family, thanks, mate. It was really nice.
Yeah,
Boys
good.
were crazy and excited as always. Lots of Lego, which I love. So yeah,
Yeah,
we've had a really good time. Hope everybody else has, and I've been looking forward to this.
great. So just to recap what I put a post out promo or whatever, what we're going to do in this session is going to be 1 hour. Okay, and we're going to go over our previous 6 sessions. And don't worry about the fact that if you can't remember what they were, because I'll tell you before each session. So, having said that, I like the glasses.
There you go.
Are you hanging up your stockings
Oh, dear.
on the
No, no,
wall?
no. It's too early for that.
All
Too
right,
early.
let's go. Okay,
Yes.
number uno, that infamous
PM.
PM
Yeah.
versus CM. And at the last check I had of YouTube, get rid of that. Last check I had at YouTube, we had 331 views.
That's
So
good.
we've got 10 minutes for each session.
Okay.
Um, have you had any more thoughts? My thought is it's still the same. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed. You're
No.
still getting the same old rubbish on LinkedIn, project managers shouting the odds and, saying, yeah, we can do project management and change management and stuff like that. So as far as I'm concerned, nothing's changed.
No, I agree. I think what I've found this past since we've done it over 6 months, nothing has changed, and it's really sad because there are some exceptional project managers out there, and there's so many that are just stuck in the dark ages,
The
and
rut. We
yeah,
call
and
it the
they go,
rut.
oh, it's okay. I know what you do. I did a half-hour course on what you
Yeah,
do, so
yeah,
it's fine. And I'm like, you don't really, and it's a shame because you probably know as well as I do, when you get somebody who really does understand you and what you do and
yeah.
back you,
It's like,
oh yeah,
it's
yeah, I
great.
mean,
It's great.
you rise up, don't you? And you just
Yeah, yeah.
you improve your game because they have trust in you. But when PMs don't really get you, yeah, it's very challenging.
Yeah, I had a trainee message me on my new WhatsApp um, Highway of Change Agents group. So I've got all my trainees on that group, and she's working for, I'm not going to say who, but it's a public company, yeah, and public,
Public
private,
sector.
public, yeah, yeah. Sorry, it's a government organisation, and um, she's been sending stuff to the group because what we do is we exchange ideas and stuff like that. And she said, she asked if anyone had ever implemented a target operating model. I said, a target operating model is nothing but a new way of working, to be honest. And then she said they're using this theory of change to implement it.
You
So
can't see
she's
my eyebrows. I'm very expressive.
and I said, "Have you got a diagram?" She said, "No, I can't send it. It's confidential or something like that."
Yeah.
The next minute, the diagram comes through, and all it is a business canvas. It's not an implementation methodology or anything. And she kind of said, well, it's being run by program project managers. And I said, okay, that's enough. That's enough for me. They don't have a clue still. They will go ahead with this one mindset that they've always had, and they'll just play what's the word, can't think of the word, but they just play around with the change manager, and they'll see them as a hindrance rather than a help because they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
understand what they do.
Or just
So
something to tick some boxes. Um,
yeah,
and like I say,
yeah.
it's a shame because it's a mixed bag, Ron. They're not all like that. Some of them
No,
really do get what I mean. I have to say, crikey, it must have been about a year ago now. Not a PM, but a director of an org. Brilliant.
yeah,
Absolutely. You've got my faith. You've got my trust. Go run it. Go smash it. I know you love that word, smash it, as words.
yeah,
You know, and like I say, it was you know it was fantastic. It was great, but it's just such a shame when you know, and this whole thing about can one person do two jobs? No, because you need to dedicate yourself so much to each one of them that you can't split it up.
And that is I thought I saw somewhere in a pro sci the future of change management, and it did
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
project and change management collaborating. But again, what's collaborating? You don't know. Does it
No.
mean to? I think it's just cost cutting if they go for one person, and you know
Yeah. Yeah.
they will focus on the project manager and say, yeah, change management, bit of communication, bit of training, that'll do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
So
so I agree. Overall, I agree with you, though, Ron. I don't think anything has changed much. I don't think it will. And you know, you just mentioned about the Prosy post there, and obviously, I love the guys over at Prosy, big fans. Um, and we get on brilliantly. But you know, I think reading their articles, everything they're predicting is the same thing that's been, you know, the only difference is AI. Everything else is still the same. Has
yeah.
been for the past 20 years. You know, nothing is changing considerably, nothing is dramatic. What I do like, though, and I'm going to sort of sell myself a little bit here, what I do like
Ooh.
is I'm seeing more and more change managers go, we want to do it differently. We want to bring in social media. We want to have a bit of fun. We want to make it
Yeah,
interesting. We want to have
yeah,
team days. I love all that stuff. That's what
yeah.
Rebellion is all about.
That's what
Uh,
it is. You're not
yeah,
just a person out there on your own. You need to
no,
get involved with the bloody
yeah,
people, for goodness sake. You know,
yeah,
with a project manager normally sort of sidelines you and says, "You get on with what you need to do. Let me do," because they think they're responsible for stakeholders, engagement, communication, and all of that shit. Sorry, all that stuff. And
yeah. Careful,
they can't
disclaimer
be. They
there.
they just like you said that they haven't got the capacity.
They don't. They
Or
don't have capacity, and I think where we show our real value is, and this is what differs us. So they'll have that linear timeline. They'll have those deliverables, those set things. And
yeah,
I had a fantastic conversation with this lady in Canada recently, just this week. She got in touch from LinkedIn, said, "Can we have a conversation?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, great, very much like us, very much aligned." And the one thing that we really hit on is that we could change the course of a program through having a coffee with the right people.
yeah, yeah, and that's all it needs.
Project
Yeah,
managers can't do that. They
no.
will go, here's what I'm delivering, here's when I'm delivering it, this is what
A
it looks
co-
like.
well, a coffee is a delivery, isn't it? It's a
Well,
hot. It's a,
for a key stakeholder, what do you want to do? Does he want to have a coffee and a donut with you and talk about the project,
yeah,
or just want to sit there and watch diagrams? And I
yeah.
think I know the answer to that, and I'm sure you.
Talking about Canada. I did a when I was doing You Ask I Answer. Um, apparently, this is what she said, that in a project or program, the project manager, the change manager, sorry, reports into the project
Yes,
manager.
yes,
Yeah. And
yes.
she was having real problems with her project manager because they refused
Yeah.
to listen to her and what she said she would
No,
like to do.
but that is not just in Canada, mate.
Yeah, I
That's
know it's
what
every.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Seriously, you know as
yeah.
well as I do, and every project manager who watches this, every project manager we're associated with will all tell you one thing. If they go in, and we all have to earn a living, if they go in under IT, there's that you like this one out there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
There's that,
And the lights.
oh, don't
Oh, wait, no,
start.
sorry.
Don't start. If you do, there's that overwhelming fear that you know you're not going to be able to really go out and blow it away
Yeah,
because you will be in some cases micromanaged, in some cases you will be all around the deliverables and
yeah, yeah,
monitored. You just excuse me, I'll do my
yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so you know, it is a genuine fear when
Uh,
organisations don't see the value in change
well,
management.
let me give you another anecdote. I did a project here, an SAP implementation, and the first thing is ties don't get change management, okay? But
You said, yeah,
the consultancy that was told, the consultancy that was supporting the program was told by the US masters, you need a change manager. So the guy in charge of the consultancy remembered me because I connected with him years ago and I did a short-term job for him. So I was brought in and they said, okay, what are you going to do for us? So I said, okay, I'll knock up a few slides. And they looked at that in horror. I was going to do business readiness. I was going to do all the communication. I was going to do all the job roles and responsibilities. And as I said, I was going to take all of that on. That's not a change manager's job. You're here to do some communication. Yeah. And we've got a big training program and that's what we want you to do. I said, no, that's not all I do. I do a lot more than that because it's all interlinked. Yeah. And they couldn't get over it. So I more or less had my hands tied, to be honest. But, you know, the project manager, he called himself Benz, as in Mercedes Benz.
Do you know what? I always find it really disappointing when I mean, like I say, there are some wonderful, wonderful PMs to work with out there. There really are. And I've been lucky enough to work with a few. And then there's those that you tell them something, you know, and then 3 months later, they start saying what you were saying 3 months ago. And it's just so frustrating because, you know, I don't know, it just really is. It's really frustrating because we try our best. There's so many valiant change managers out there slogging their guts out. And we're the ones that when people go, we don't like you, you know, stakeholders, we're the ones that get it. And I think a lot of the PMs and program managers and, you know, some of the businesses, they forget that.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
We are the person on the front line. And I've had it and you've had it where somebody goes, I've heard all this before. I don't like it. Go away. It's disappointing. You know, and we have to navigate that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know.
All right, we're nearly up with our 10 minutes. So
10
I'm going to ask that was quick, wasn't it? One final question for you.
Yep.
Do you think it's going to change anytime soon? I mean, when I say change, I mean a considerable shift.
No, is the simple answer. No, there is more chance of me looking out the window and seeing a unicorn fly past.
Well, hey, I've just seen one.
It's just
okay.
It's just, no,
that's it. All right. Do you want to know what's next?
Go on then. Let's go.
The good old 70%. Get rid of that. All right. 70%. I've got to say, I'm going to start this off by, I've had a few digs at people, but I haven't seen so much of the reference to the 70% of late as I did before. Now, I'm not sure what the reason is. Well, I kind of think I know what the reason is because a lot of people have now jumped on the bandwagon with the 70%. And they're saying it's not true, it's rubbish, it's crap, it's absolutely rubbish. So I haven't seen, in fact, they haven't made a comment on someone that's posted about 70% in a few months now.
No, I haven't seen, I'm not in a long time.
But I tell you what, it's still prevalent because when I'm doing my some research for posts and stuff like that, you know, I go to all sorts of web pages, and you will always find someone who is selling their wares. McKinsey has said 70% of change initiatives fail. What a load of rubbish. So where are we going with this 70% then? Are we just going to stop? Is it going to be stop you? Are people going to stop using? Sorry. I'll just to tell you guys. I've got swimmer's ear, so I'm a little bit hard of hearing at the moment. Are people going to stop it, or are they just going to be more sly about it and, you know, say things like the majority or, you know, and stuff like that?
Do you know what? I think I said this on the last video, and this is what is really important. I think we're still going to see it. I think it is becoming less and less, but I still think there's a lot of people coming into our industry that don't really know, don't understand, and use that as a focal point to engage and bring on a conversation. Unfortunately, what they get is grumpy old gits like me and you
McKinsey.
going, how dare you throw 70% up? And I said this last time and I'll say it again. I feel sorry for people who are trying to use it to engage in our industry But I think that will continue because we're getting more and more people coming into our industry, which is great that people want to be involved. But I'm hoping a lot of the people that have been around the block for a very long time now are going to stop using it because
Yeah, because it surprised me before I noticed the downturn in posts, etc. There were people who I recognised and who had a fairly long history in change management were still either quoting it or saying McKinsey said that the majority of or whatever, and I thought, well, why? If you look at it on its own, there is no necessity to mention 70% of change initiatives fail whatsoever. What's the point?
no, I know,
Yeah?
I know.
And just back to the same old stuff. If the point is to try and sell your wares, if the point is you can actually do better than the 70%, then instead of saying 70%, then prove it. What's your success rate? Yeah, prove it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There was another thing I was going to mention about the 70% as well, and I've totally forgotten what it was now. But yeah, it's a pity because we haven't got much to talk about on the 70%.
No. In a way, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we haven't had much to deal with. I mean, the last time our good friend Douglas, I think, pointed something out.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I remember. Other than that, it's been very, very quiet.
And that's got, like you said, it's got to be a good thing because that is an indicator. That's an indicator that the stuff is dying out. The 70% statistic is dying out. But then you've got all the people quoting other statistics without actually,
let's be honest.
without actually giving any, reference to where they got it from.
26% of ducks don't quack. There you go. You can throw anything in there, Ron. Anything in there, mate. It just doesn't matter, does it?
You can think of a percentage and just mention it.
I'm sure again. Last time we did this, I can't remember the details now, but I'm sure last time we did this, I mentioned a lady.
You did.
Not by name. She put a post up and she went 66% of da around change, right? And somebody was like, "Oh, great, that was really interesting. Where did you get the statistics from?" And she literally put, "I made them up because it was as close to what I could think of." And I was just like, "Dear Lord, no, don't do that."
I've just remembered the 70%. I've just been using my spare time at the moment to think about the way I post on LinkedIn, and I'm going to do a series called Change Management 101. And basically, it's just I'm going to admit this, and we'll talk about this later. I'm going to use ChatGPT. And what it is, it's just going to be a series of slides about stakeholders, about sponsorship, about communication, etc., etc. And all I'm going to do is prompt ChatGPT. And if it's change management 101, people need to understand some of the things that sit around change management, like the 70% issue. Yeah. Because that is, I think that is I've gone. I'm shot.
I think it's
you know what I mean.
Yeah, all those things are factors that influence our industry. Yeah. So I think it's a really good idea, and mate, don't worry. I know you've got swimmers here, and possibly Alzheimer's. No, so I know what you mean, mate, and I think it's a wonderful idea because there is so much influencing our industry from external sources that you want to guide people and help people. I mean, I'm all about, and I said this to, I think it's again a mutual friend of ours who hasn't been in the industry as long as us. And I said, I do not understand when people in our industry, in change management, do not want to support and help each other. We are, by our nature,
I know.
People. So, help.
Apart from the obvious marketing and promotion I do about my training and stuff on LinkedIn, everything I put on LinkedIn is to help our industry. It's there to give them information, to let them read things, to, give them knowledge, etc., etc. And, I think sometimes it falls on deaf ears talking about ears.
Well, yeah, I can't claim the same thing, mate, because quite often I just do it for the laughs. But yeah, I think it's important. I think it's really important. I mean, I always try and throw in like a serious message with a meme or a joke or something, because there are so many things that we all experience.
Yeah,
We all experience.
we know what's happened before,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if they keep on coming up and it's
exactly.
untrue, not
Which
forget
is
about the 70%, but
Yeah, which is why when I see things, posted about the future of change management, what will be there, dun dun dun, all that business,
yeah.
I kind of. But if you think about it, the things that I say in my stupid, silly, funny posts with a serious underlying message, people resonate with because it hasn't changed in 20 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these people who are going, what does the future hold? The same thing.
A lot of people have a go at me for that, 50 years next year. Oh my God. And they say, you're old school, you're a dinosaur. Well, actually, no, I'm not. Yeah. Because I'm probably more up to date than most of you
Do you
people
know?
are,
Yeah,
you know.
I think there's always going to be a generational thing for you, for me, for people younger than us, for people older than us. There's always going to be that you're influenced by your generation, so you will
Yeah.
therefore
Yeah.
deliver messages by it. But the topic, the subjects, the meaning, the advice, the guidance that we all provide and want to support one another is not going to change, regardless of generation.
It won't. Right. We're coming up to time. So all I'll say about this session is I am very glad to see that the incidence of 70% being mentioned on LinkedIn has reduced, I would say, relatively dramatically. Yeah. And if I see it again, I don't know, I might just ignore it, but then no, I won't. Anyway, finished. All right. The
Next,
next one. Da, 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 da.
good photo.
Certification. Oh, I forgot to mention how many views we had on the 70%. It's around about the same as the one we just talked about.
300 something.
Yeah. This one has had 210 views. So certification.
Notification. Well, that's probably because I imagine if I was certified, which I'm not, people might be a little bit offended by that. Because
Yes.
we're essentially saying you don't necessarily need it. There are other qualities, other things that you need to bring to the table before a piece of paper, and that was our point of view. So I understand that, and it was never our intent to offend anyone. It's just our viewpoint, and and I think, yeah. I mean, to be honest, can I just say anyway, Ron, about these videos, right? So obviously,
Yeah.
you launched some more, sort it out. Very grateful for that, mate. I'm surprised they're not in the thousands because we're highly entertaining.
Well, I'm quite surprised, but I think we're probably missing a trick somewhere. And I keep
Well,
on getting YouTube marketers contact me, but I don't like going through like somebody who will fudge it. I prefer organic growth, and if that means we don't get as many viewers as we
if I
should
was
do.
any more, to tell you what, if I was any more organic, I'd be a carrot. So I absolutely am with you. But I honestly, it is funny because I love some of the feedback we get, and it makes me laugh because
The feedback is great. I love it.
it's so, yeah, it's brilliant and it's really funny. But yeah, I mean, I think with this one, like I say, I think the reason this one didn't do as well is because unintentionally there will be some people that feel very self-conscious that, well, actually, I
Yeah.
worked really hard for this, and we're not saying don't work. Work hard for it if you want to study and you want to do it. That's brilliant. I think some
Yeah.
people don't think it is the be and end all of everything, though.
Yeah.
It's like it's a step on the path to lots of other things. So go
No, I
on.
mean, I think I mentioned this in the last video that when I first started training, it's nearly 5 years ago. What the hell? um, I didn't give a certification because I said I am against certification. I don't believe in it. I believe more in experience and understanding and knowledge, etc. But I kept on getting messages from my trainees saying, "Do we get a certificate?" I say, well, for what it's worth, yeah, but it's not a certificate that is like ProSci or APMG or that's officially backed by any kind of body. Yeah, it's just a certificate from me to say
Yeah.
you are now a highway of change agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I just digressing slightly, I thought I'd create a WhatsApp group for my trainees. Yeah. And that's been really successful. And people are starting to use it as a sounding board and stuff like that. Now, that's what I prefer than a bloody certificate, is having that kind of engagement, people asking each other questions. A certificate can't ask a question, you know, you know, and even the stuff that sits behind the certificate probably hasn't answered the question that you're asking.
Yeah.
The stuff that you've been taught. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to have on your wall, I suppose. But I still get a bit frustrated, and this is I'm not having a go at ProSci or anything.
No, no, no.
But I still get a bit frustrated about the curated posts on LinkedIn, and they are curated. I think the posts are slightly curated, but then the answer from ProSci is very curated. They have to,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but I don't see certification posts. Sometimes I do. Sorry, for APMG. Okay, I haven't seen any for Cotter. You see mine, but so I'm just a one-man band. Everybody knows down
no,
Ladbroke
no,
Grove you have to
stop,
leap
stop.
across
Dear
the street.
Lord.
Sorry.
All right. Pipe down, Colonel Sanders. Just go on. Just yeah. You honestly, all that red and white, mate. You look like you should be on a bucket of chicken. It's but no, I
um,
agree. I
so
agree.
yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree because the thing is, and it's not prosy. However you say, I might never get that right. But as
I got pulled. I used to
prosy,
call them Prosky.
right?
And
So
I
anyway,
got pulled up for that years ago.
I am not
And
referring to them. I will clearly state that right now. I love you guys. Hope you're all well. Um, Another one, I mentored. I explained this to you. I mentored two people through
excuse
another
me.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your light keeps going off.
Yeah,
That's
my
a
light keeps on going out.
that isn't rehearsed, right? So yeah, I meant it, and it was a great stepping stone, as I say, personal development, fantastic. And then I went, but you're missing all of this stuff over here. So
Yeah.
great, and actually they were because what they were doing, they were working in the role at the same time as doing the exam, so they
All
could see,
right.
so they could see what I was saying was right, because
Right.
it would give you so much, and there'd be very scripted answers and very scripted
Yeah.
prescribed the whole thing, whole process, and that doesn't
But
work with them so much. So yeah,
but then
I know.
I mean, sorry, go on.
No, no, no. I'm just saying I agree with you. I think
I mean, the training and the certification is kind of okay. I'm not complaining completely about certification. It's there. It's what it is. But I see the value, and I'm probably going back to my WhatsApp group. Is once you finish that certification and you've got all the tools and the templates and stuff like that, and then you want to start using them, yeah, and you don't know how to. So
yeah,
you need, because you can't for the life of you spend 3 days on a course, yeah, and learn about tools and templates. That's why I don't have many tools and templates in my training, by the way, and learn about all these tools and templates, and then go into a change environment and start working and saying, oh, God, I've forgotten which tool to use. Oh, God, I've forgotten which template to use. Yeah. So how do you find out? Okay, you have to go back to your manual, or you have to go back to your training guides or whatever, or you ask somebody. And I think the best way is to ask somebody
yeah. I was yeah, yeah.
and so the certificate, what's the point?
So
If you still have to ask somebody
well, I said this.
about.
Yeah, I said this last time, and again, this is my point of view, and not necessarily right on everything, despite what I tell my wife. Is and she never believes me. Is that actually I would recommend having a mentor overtaking
Oh,
you.
I was going to mention a mentor. That's
Yeah,
why I started.
yeah,
That's
and
go on, go on, go
I'm
on.
not saying necessarily you or I, because we only have so many hours in a day. But a mentor, somebody who's experienced in this industry, can just help you so much in your journey when you start.
And that's kind of why I set up the WhatsApp group, and that's why I kind of set up my one-on-one with Ron, which I'm going to start pushing next year. So yeah, absolutely. Because all you have to do is ask the question once, and you get an immediate, sensible, logical answer. Yeah. And because they've been there, they've done it, they've got the t-shirt, etc. So yeah. I used to have when I was in the UK, I used to have certificates all over my wall. how how what is it that's turned not the goose, the
I
chicken
don't
that's
know where
turned?
you're going with this, mate. I have no idea.
Neither do I.
I tell you one thing for nothing. I'm quite terrified.
No, no, what I'm going with this is how the worm turns. Like,
There we go.
lots of certificates. But that was in my young days,
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
I need to make an impression. So
And
I was a member of the Institute of Directors. Yeah. I was and all sorts of, all over my wall. Yeah.
like I
But
say,
as I
mate,
said, my
like I
young
say,
days, I had to
yeah,
make an impression.
yeah, and you
Oh,
want
I
to develop.
see. Yeah, I see you're a certificate. I see you're a member of the IOD. Yeah, yeah. I see you've got a certificate. So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't need that now.
no.
Obviously,
Like I say, I think in terms of personal development, brilliant.
yeah,
But people need to realise there's more out there than just whatever you learn in a classroom or
yeah.
online course.
Finito. We filled that up quite well, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah, that started. That was a slow burner, but escalated quickly.
Yeah. Da, 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 da,
Excuse me.
da. Now this one didn't do so
Oh,
well.
internal versus external.
Internal, external. It only had 83 views. This is one we actually really enjoyed doing, wasn't
We
it? If I
really enjoyed
remember
this one. Yeah,
correctly.
we did. We did.
But the feedback, well, 83 views, no one
Yeah,
was
yeah,
interested.
yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering why that was. Whether it was just us because we were rubbish that day, but I don't think we were, because if we enjoyed doing it,
I
then
thought we were brilliant.
the
Um,
audience would have enjoyed it. But I don't know why it was. I don't know
It
why it
doesn't
was.
always translate, does it? Because we've done this a couple of times where we've really enjoyed talking about the subject matter.
And it
Yet
goes down.
the views have been really low. I don't know. Again, with this one, I think I would say this one again is because it's a sensitive subject. Because the
Yeah.
people that we typically watch our videos are either internal CMs or external CMs,
Yeah.
and and I guess it's not one that I don't know, might have been some
And
challenges.
this is something I was going to pick up. We're going to digress slightly. I was going to pick up with you in the new year. Perhaps we should be stop doing X versus Y or Y versus Z, and perhaps we just should be doing themes.
Yeah, happy.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like communication, or
Yeah,
or sponsorship, or things like that.
I think
But
that's
in our own inimitable way,
yeah. I know.
because I
I'm all
think
for that.
yes, okay, cool, agreed. So we'll think about that for next year, um, which is not far away now, only a few days. Good grief.
I know.
Anyway, internal, external. I don't know what to say about this, because I mean, for me, my oh God, I'm going over for half an hour now. I've had it.
Well,
No,
mate.
my background, my experience, my career is half and half.
Yeah,
Uh,
like yeah,
half internal, half external.
yeah.
The one I enjoyed most was obviously my external career, because I could just apply for any job and you know pick and choose, and you know argue the toss about how much money I want and stuff like that.
But it's also much more rewarding because
It is rewarding.
if you knock it out the park and it's brilliant and you get on well with the client, you have a good relationship, everything just goes the right way. The
Yeah,
feeling, the sense of like that warmth you get
yeah.
from it's just incredible.
The one thing that sets external from internal whilst you are given a plan of some sort or some kind of, deliverables, etc., you are not under pressure as such. Yeah, unless you've got a really out a big bad ogre for a boss. Yeah. Whereas if you're external, yeah, you are working to a contract. You are working for 6 months, yeah, and you have to deliver. So there's more pressure on you, I think, my view, as an external than an internal. Um, there may be an argument against that from internal people. I'm sure there are organisations that have sort of, fairly strict time scales, etc., etc. But you still you're still there. You've got no looming end date coming up against you, like, your contract finishes. And they're very if it's coming towards the end of your contract and there's still stuff to do, organizations are very unlikely. Not unlikely is the wrong word, but I'll use it anyway. Reluctant is the word. Sorry, reluctant to increase or renew a contract. They will sometimes if the stuff that's delayed the deliverables is valid, but if it's not, you're out of there.
Yeah, we've said this before. Yeah, the first thing to go, if there's any problems with the plan, the budget, the timelines, the first thing to go, if you're not lucky enough to work for someone who's brilliant and then gets what we do, if they don't get what we do, first thing to go is you, the change manager. And I mean, I put a couple of memes up, just joking around the subject. Yet the response was phenomenal because all those change managers out there got that. They understood. They're the first ones that their neck is on the line if there's any sort of problems with the program or
and and that's kind of a worry for you because it can happen anytime. You don't know. It could be because they've run out of budget, or it could be that they've decided to pull the program or whatever. But you've always got that in the back of your mind. Oh, yeah, I'm on a 6-month contract, but will it last that long? Yeah, I don't know. And I kind of sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say you're right. It is the worst bit about it. It's scary in a way because it is always at the back of your mind, and if it doesn't work out, it affects everything as a change manager. It doesn't affect you. It affects your home life. It affects everything because we're just humans. We've all got bills to pay. We've all got and yes, we want to do what we love because doesn't everybody? Ideally, we'd love to do what we love. Hence why plug again. Hence why I set up that course or to see what the interest would be if I put something together around that. Not change management, just around enjoying your job. But the scary thing is, coming back to your point, is if they let you go or there's some sort of problem, it's a real worry and a concern. I think, it's weird because as humans, you'd think you'd cut people a bit of slack, don't you? But the amount of people I've seen on LinkedIn who've just been let go right before Christmas.
Boom.
I mean, talk about season of goodwill. That was terrible. And I hope in the new year, or even in between, if people are lucky enough, people are moving into new things and new opportunities because.
But I've also seen quite a few organizations recruiting as well, and quite a few recruiters with jobs out there as well, ready for the new year. So that's kind of like balancing it out a bit. But yeah, you're under fire. You're never permanent. You're never permanent, and you always worry. Well, I used to.
One of my greatest programs, Ron, that I was ever on, I was on it as a contractor for almost 3 years.
Whoa.
3 years, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant. The whole team were like a family. Everybody got along. I could sit and chat with the directors, the CEO. Just it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. But they're few and far between.
Now, there's an interesting point you just sort of raised. Yeah, one of colleagues and friends, okay, which is like a personal thing, really.
Yeah.
Because as an external, you can never really, 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 really afford to make a very good friend because Yeah, because you do sometimes, don't get me wrong, if you actually gel and get on with each other, but you can't afford to, because because 3 months later you're gone. And that personal relationship, if it's not going to carry on,
Uh,
but you did get on with them, shut up a
yeah,
minute.
yeah,
Hey, wait,
yeah.
wait, wait, yeah, shut up. If you were going to carry on, it's that's the one. That's the other thing that's your tutus come off, mate.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm looking.
Right, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, all I was going to say was I kind of do and don't agree with that. So because you know what I'm like, I can talk the hind leg off a donkey. I have made friends, good friends, in every place I've been. What happens is you just can't keep that level of communications and friendship going
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you move so much.
yeah,
I've made friends even with a company that I've just been working with recently. I've made a friend. I know that he and I will keep in touch. Even if it's just silly things like jokes. But you can't maintain a deep level of friendship because otherwise you'd have like 130 friends to
yeah,
socialize. It just becomes too much
yeah.
unmanageable.
And I think that's what I'm getting at, is that deep level of friendship. You have to stay a little bit one step removed. Yeah. And that's a bit of a shame, really, because sometimes you meet some really, really nice people on contract. Sometimes you meet some assholes, plenty of those, but sometimes you meet some really, really, really friendly people. And, it's like, yeah. So we're coming up to the end. We filled that one as well. Oh, we're
Really?
doing, yeah,
Wow.
we're doing well. So 2 to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Da, 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 da,
Yeah, and what's this one?
da.
Uh, Agile Waterfall.
Agile or Waterfall, and we had 170
Well, to be
views.
honest, it's not the most interesting subject, if I'm honest, is it? I mean, let's be fair. It's not going to wow people. I'm not going to sit behind my desk and go, "Oh, look at that! Ron and Mark are talking about Agile and Waterfall. How sexy! Let me
let me
in."
let me
Oh,
ask you a question.
go on.
Is Agile change management gonna
Oh,
going to take off?
it's take off.
Take
Take,
off or go away?
it's just it's. I think the words. Yeah, let's be serious about this for a second. The word, the words, agile change are here to stay. Right, we're not going to get rid of that.
They are. They are. Well,
Yeah,
Agile's here to stay in whatever way you
yeah,
use it.
exactly, exactly. The words are here to stay. In reality, practicality, yeah, I don't think it really is a thing as such. I think you work in the environment you work in. So you work in either a waterfall environment or an agile environment, whatever environment you work in, you still do your change management stuff, the good stuff. So, and we said this last time, and I'm not going to harp on. As far as I'm concerned, this is you for 10 minutes here because I just think the whole thing is a load of twaddle.
Tosh.
Yeah, and it's a buzzword. And over the past 6 months, I've told you I hate buzzwords. I hate trends. Referring back to the whole perm that I had in the 1990s. It was wrong. I shouldn't have been there. I know you sent me a photo
I
of
sent
you.
you a photo of me in my perm, didn't I?
Just say to the public, you don't need to see that, although I'm sure you will. Um, so yeah, it just, mate, this particular subject drives me nuts because as change managers, we're there to do a very specific role with people, taking people from there to there or there to there, depending on how you look at the camera. And that is it. That's, it doesn't matter. You adapt to the environment you're in. So anyway,
whether
go on, go for it,
whether
mate.
it's agile or whether it's waterfall or whether it's hybrid, it doesn't bloody matter. You're there to deliver something. Yeah. And you know, and the kind of thinking from me about agile change management is you're needing to deliver something quickly, do something quickly. Therefore, the danger is you're going to leave something out, something important out that you would have normally thought about had you had time to do what you wanted to do. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of think that, agile change management is you're losing out.
Well,
You
I mean,
just,
yeah.
you're forgetting stuff, and because you're always, oh, we got a sprint. Yeah, we're gonna sprint. Come on, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you do it, and you think, I forgot about that. I should
See,
have done that.
yeah, and you're absolutely right, and you're encouraging me to speak again, which is never a good thing. That is my biggest gripe with the agile. So on the agile side, I don't like the fact a small minority of people make decisions for a large minority. The change manager's role is to help with that and to
Yeah,
explain what the business needs and bring that through in that direction, that guidance. I don't like a group of 3 or 4 people who may well have their own agendas making decisions for the rest of the organizations. I've never seen it work right. We've had this conversation and it frustrates me. So I'm going to.
yeah. The Scrum Master. Yeah, I used to play rugby. So,
That's another
played,
photo I'm sure we'll see.
played in the back row. So I was never the Scrum Master. um, yeah, I mean, the problem that what I'm seeing now is, yes, agile is used everywhere, but there are I think I mentioned this when we had the original session, there are so many arguments going on about capital A agile, small
Oh,
a agile. Capital A agile is supposed to be the methodology. Small agile is supposed to be the mindset. Then you've got scaled agile, and you've got this agile, and you've got that agile, and you've got all different sorts of agile. And the other thing that we talked about was as well is that the big 5 or 6 or however many they are still continuing to push this rubbish. They're still continuing to create their wonderful slides, yeah, however many there are, convince these gullible C-suite managers, yeah, that this is the way your organization needs to go, and in 6 months' time they find out it's a load of shite, okay, and it's not it's not talking about, we're just going to talk about grassroots, and at grassroots again, this was mentioned before, is people couldn't give a toss.
yeah, I was just
People
about to
couldn't
say
give a
that.
toss about agile. What's
Uh,
agile?
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
all
care.
we want is this bit of software delivered or this solution delivered that's going to help us make our work easier. How are you going to deliver it? I don't give a monkeys. I don't care. Yeah, throw it over the wall, just bang it in or whatever. But for goodness sake, tell us how it works and give us the right tools and stuff to actually make it work so we can make use of it and we can make the whole program project successful. Whether it's agile, whether you're using agile or whether you're using waterfall, blimey, I don't even know what they mean. I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I don't care.
Just get it done, please. Yeah.
Help me. What does it mean for me? Help me. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And it just yeah, and like I say, from what I understand, from what I have seen, and when it's agile is applied to delivering software, it can be a great thing. It can work very very well. Upgrades and all the rest of it works brilliantly. But you're absolutely right. The people right down who are affected, who are impacted, just want to know, what does it mean for me? How am I going to get on with this? That's the real critical things to make a success. And yeah, there's too much talk at that senior level by, as you say, big consultancies and the like, because it's not just them, there are others that go, oh, you need this, you need that because of this, because of that. And they do a wonderful job at selling it, but practicality will tell you that it's not what your people want.
I mean, it's a big wide world we've got out there, and obviously there are people who like some things better than other things, and there's people
Yeah,
who are dedicated to agile, there's people who are dedicated to waterfall or a hybrid version or whatever, and the arguments will continue
yeah,
forever and a day. And it's one of these continuing debates that's going to go on, just like the other ones we've been talking about, like
yeah,
certification, like PM versus CM.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
going to go on and
On.
on
Yeah.
and on, and there
No, I
won't
agree.
be any decision
Yeah.
made about what's best.
I absolutely agree with you on it. I think and it will just continue. By the way, do you think tinsel rash is a real thing? Because I'm starting to itch quite a bit on it.
I've got an itch as well. But
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm quite hot here. I've only got my fan on here. I haven't got the aircon on.
yeah.
So.
So I'll just have to explain tinsel rash later. That's all. Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere, mate.
I tell you what, isn't it a quick anecdote? Talk about
Oh, man.
tinsel rash. Did you
Oh,
know that
oh
you could
God.
get chrome rash?
No.
Yeah, when I sit in my chair here and I've got my shorts on,
Yeah.
there's a part of the arm is chrome, and I've got a rash down the side of my leg.
See, people would pay for this, Ron. Look at the value they get in our podcasts.
And I've looked it up on the internet, and there is such a thing, and there's a treatment for it.
Look at that.
Look
We're
at that.
not just bringing a change. We
What
can tell
more
people
do
about
you,
practice.
the audience,
Exactly.
want? Now you
Exactly.
know. I bet you didn't know you could get swimmer's ear either, but Mark's had it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Swimmer's ear.
Horrible.
Oh, horrible, horrible.
Um,
Yeah. And
Anyway,
just as a quick aside, I went to I went to the pharmacy and I said I got these swimmer's ear, I can't hear properly. And they gave me these drops, and I thought, okay, great. Take it out, put the drops in, and I took a picture just to keep for when I were going, if I had to go to the pharmacy again, because we converse by pictures on the phone. This is what I want. And it had ophthalmic, and I thought, oh, they've given me eye drops instead of ear drops. I went down to the pharmacy and I said, so it's ophthalmic here. He said, no, it's okay. You could use it for ears as well. Yeah, you can use it for both. Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah.
thought I'm going to be seeing out the back of my head. Well, not out the back of my head, out the side of my head.
Our podcasts, Ron, are educational. Every day's a school day. It would honestly, people could watch it. The things they could learn. Honestly.
Right, finished.
Okay.
Next. AI, CM.
Oh, here we go. Another
Well,
buzzword.
I thought
You
this
thought.
would be quite interesting. 68 views. And I know I told you about it and you said it was the wrong time, but I would have thought that it would have had a lot more than that. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
No, I agree. I would have thought I was expecting this one to fly, despite my lack of conviction on this. I was really expecting it to fly because it's something that's talked about all the time. You
Yeah.
can't open LinkedIn without a chat or something around AI. And in fact, a lot of companies are actually basing their new business models and talk about it frequently, what they can do in that space and how it should be impacted. So yeah, I was really surprised. It's maybe because, again, you and I are slightly opinionated, and we both kind of.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's outrageous. What an accusation.
Outrageous.
What an accusation. But I think it's because, yeah, that's the only thing I can, if we had anything, I don't know, kind of revolutionary to debate, or whether we don't. It's just, it is where we are. This is where we are with AI. This is what it can do, and that's great. And it can be used for this, that, and the other. Is it a game changer? Is it going to take over, the world? Hello, Skynet? No.
Don't know. Don't know.
No, don't know.
I mean,
No.
I've started using it a little bit again, but I'm still not convinced. I have to see more. Like you said, it's about maturity.
Yeah,
I have to see more about what it can do, especially in the change management environment. I know it'll do a lot for communication, if that's what you want. I know it can do some training stuff and all that sort of shit, but as for actually the personal contact, yeah, and the brain synchronicity. Hey, did you know that? Brain synchronicity?
Wow, that's a big word.
Did you know that when people work together, yeah, their brain tends to synchronize and they start working in the same way?
Wow, that's scary. That's a scary.
Scary. Neuroscience.
I tell you what, after all the turkey and mince pies I've eaten, I'm not sure I can comprehend that. That's very good.
It's just a quick plug. It's part of my course, Neuroscience and Change.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah.
And there's another one, just before you say, did you know that the microbes in the gut can impact the way the brain works?
I did know that. Yes. That
All
one
right.
I do.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I forgot where I was going with that. That totally sidetracked me.
That's about
Honestly,
you. That's about
we are,
usual, isn't it?
yeah, but we are just so worth our money if we charge, but we don't. It's all free. Yeah, I just think that again, there's a lot of people trying to make a living out of it right now, which is great. Good luck. I think it's something we have to be conscious of. It's something that we've both dabbled with. It's something that I'll probably ask Chat GPT after this. Is tinsel rash a real thing? Um, but I think at the moment it needs an awful lot of human input.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it to run automated tasks at the moment, and that's where AI I think will be worth its weight in gold,
Well,
but just not there.
isn't there like anything? It's about trust, isn't it?
Yeah,
If you trust something, if you trust a person, or if you trust something, you use it. Yeah, because you feel comfortable in doing that.
right. Yeah, sorry, mate.
If-
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I completely did something. But yeah, no, you're right. Because I said this to you when we did the thing, and I don't think anybody picked up on it. And I couldn't remember the link. There are sites out there that are AI driven that will create a website for you in like less than
Yes,
10
you
minutes.
mentioned this. Yeah,
But what it does is it puts in things like recommendations.
makes up
And makes
stuff.
up, yeah, and it makes up stuff. So I think that diminishes from just our basic trust of one another, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just yeah,
I was after that session. I was thinking, shh, I wanted to talk about that, and I thought, oh, I'll wait until we do the thingy,
that's
and I've forgotten now. I've forgotten I'll have to ask AI. Hey,
yeah,
what was it? What was it I was going to ask in the last session that I forgot about? I don't know. I might think about it before we end because we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left anyway. So, um, yeah, AI. It's just that trust thing. It's just that trust thing.
yeah,
But if you know what you're doing, and if you put, and I think I've mentioned this again, you put the right prompt in. If you've got some nous about you, if you know what you're talking about, like change management, if you put in something about change management, okay,
yeah,
you wanted an answer to that you sort of having problems with, and you've got that experience and that knowledge and that wisdom, and it comes back with da 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 da, you can say that's a load of crap
mm,
because you know.
yeah,
Yeah. But for the uninitiated, the new change manager, etc., they wouldn't know. And I just repeat what I said, that is the worst thing for me ever, because you got all these new people, like you said, coming into the market, new change managers, etc. They will want to use AI, they will want to use ChatGPT or whatever, yeah, but they won't know the difference between the truth and a lie or something that's made up. Yeah.
yeah,
So that is the problem.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that could get you into all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I say, for me, it's as I said with that website, as you've just said with your explanation. Unfortunately, you cannot focus on rely on these things to tell the truth. Build a website. I'll do it for you in less than 10 minutes, but I'll also put recommendations that never existed from clients that never existed. I mean that's in my head. I go, that's kind of like fraudulent, right? That's not.
It is fraudulent. I mean,
Uh,
I mentioned that what's his name, David Wilkinson from the Oxford Review did that session on some research, and he asked AI ChatGPT about so he asked them a certain question,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it came back to him with totally spurious research done by X and Y in such and such a date, and there was never any such research. How does it get hold of that?
well, it's yeah. I mean, apparently,
It must
yeah,
be in the large language model somewhere.
yeah.
So there is spurious research out there.
I don't know. It does. Yeah. I mean, I won't lie. It baffles me a bit where it gets all its data from and how it can be sometimes very correct and other times completely off piste. But yeah, like I
Weird.
say, it's maturity thing, Ron. I think one day it will be fantastic and it will help us with automating duties and tasks and all the rest of it. At the moment, it's still in its nappies.
Yeah. Well, we're coming to the end. So I think we've had our say. all I can say is, like I said at the beginning, I hope you had a really good Christmas and you're looking forward to the new year. Um, okay. What else was there? I don't know. What were you going to
Yeah,
say?
have we done all our topics? We've done a lot.
Yeah, we've done 58 minutes.
Have we really? Oh,
Yeah.
Merry! I hope everybody had a lovely Christmas. I hope it was merry and
Lovely
enjoyable.
Christmas. Christmas has gone.
No, I said I hope they had a
Oh, I
lovely.
hope they had. Sorry, I thought
Yeah,
you
yeah, no,
thought, is he
no,
living in a
no, only one Christmas.
let's do the time warp again.
No, no, no. And trust me, I don't want to spend that amount again this
Yeah,
soon. Let's leave it
yeah.
a year. Yeah, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Ate too much, drank too much, had a wonderful time. Yeah, we will see you in the new year. Looking forward to it. Go on.
And finally, for you, all's quiet on a New Year's
Oh,
Day. I wanna be with you night and day.
I can only apologise for.
I will be with you again. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I couldn't ask for more, really, Ron.
Right, so
Not matey.
we will think about the shape of our these sessions next year. And as I say, we might come up with just a single
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
to discuss, which
yeah,
might be good. Still half an hour.
yeah.
But come on, vote more, 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 more. We want more views. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We want to go viral. Let's go viral.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, it would be lovely. I think, like I say, I think yeah, more people should, for no other reason, to listen to two madmen ramble about changing.
About anything and everything.
Pretty much. But do you know what? These are always really enjoyable. We always get to, air our views. What I would like more of, Ron, rather than views, because yes, that'd be wonderful, is I would like more input from people. If they like what
Yeah.
we're doing, if they don't like what we're doing, if they disagree with us, agree with us,
Absolutely. And
that's what
and
this.
and and the other thing we'll think about is what we talked about before, but we said we'd get the first few sessions out of the way with is actually having live questions and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah,
maybe a guest every now and again,
yeah,
depending on what we're talking about and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Perfect.
But we don't the thing is, I don't want to get too much like other podcasts out
Yeah,
there. I
yeah,
still want to
yeah.
keep this a little bit wild and um what's the word? What's another word for wild? Off
um,
the wall, off the wall, and
Unplugged,
whatever.
mate. Unplugged. And in
Yeah.
that vein, yeah, I can just say your idea about the mankini, it's never going to work. Never going to work. Yeah, no, I look forward to these next year, and we might twist it up a notch, I think.
Yeah, I hope your tinsel rasp gets better.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
All right. Cheers,
Right.
guys. Bye.